So, this is the bit where I go, oh God, now I'm going to ask you questions. Ugh.
Oh, good. You're good at doing that. I don't know what the problem is. You're very good at asking questions, Miss Carrie. So I don't know why you're having an issue with it today. Your turn.
It is one of those things where it's always been, hasn't it, with my consultations? It's like, you ask a lot of questions, and I'm like, yep, yes, I do. Yep.
That's all good. It's what you do.
It's like, why are you asking me about all the injuries I had as a child and whether I was born backwards or...
Yeah, exactly. Why are you asking me about my dental history from the age of 6? Yeah.
And then when it all connects into your hip, you're like, oh, yeah, that feeling that I was completely and utterly traumatized by. I remember that one. Mm-hmm. So, we've worked together for quite a while, haven't we?
Forever, it feels like. It's a good forever, not a bad forever, a good forever. A good forever. Just have to stick that in there.
How long is it? Forever. How long have we known each other? 4 years?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Is it 4? It's got to be 4 years.
Must be 4 years.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Really? Oh my gosh.
So first of all, you're a massage client.
Yeah.
But then we quite quickly got into the gunk.
Yes. I don't even know how or when that happened. Don't ask me when and how. I don't know. You just did. You just did your magical stuff, and it was like, poof, here we are.
Here we go. I think it was pretty much from the first session, wasn't it? It was just like, hey, we're in.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then we started working together again quite recently.
Yes.
In a more one-to-one mentoring way.
Yes.
So, how's that been for you?
How has that been for me? Oh.
Where were we when we started? Where were you? What was going on? And
when we started this most recent one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh goodness, when did we start this? A few weeks back?
Yeah, a month or two. Probably 2
yeah.
months.
So about 2 months ago, wasn't it? So, okay, where was I? Had a very interesting 18 months. My papa was very, very ill, but soldiering on as he does, with cancer. But we knew that it wasn't, he had radiotherapy, but we knew it hadn't done very much. So without anybody actually saying what was going to happen, coming to the realization of what was going to happen to my dad, coming to terms with that. It's just over a year ago that I found out my husband had been having an affair. And so we separated very quickly. That happened very, very quickly. I found out about the affair in July, and by the beginning of August, he'd moved out. So last summer was a bit crazy because I was kind of coming to terms with what was happening with my dad, and then with my marriage, and then trying to keep it all together and holding the kids and holding everybody, and using all that anger and everything to fuel me doing stuff. I was like, right, okay, I'm not going to waste this rage. I'm going to use it. So I'm going to buy myself a car, and I'm going to sort the house out. I'm going to sort my bills out. I'm going to do everything, which I did. Totally used it, bossed it, did everything. Had this very strange sense. I think we met up, didn't we? I came to see you, and it kind of, to some, it might have looked like my world was falling apart, but I really didn't feel like that was what was happening. I am so close to my dad. I'm total daddy's girl. But much as I was upset and I had a couple of tears and a couple of, oh God, how do I cope with my dad's transition? For the most part, it was like, okay, this is good. He was 93 and lived a good life, and now he's resting and he needs to go chill. And it was, and then the upheaval with my marriage, but everything, my whole world just went nuts.
Yeah.
But I kind of just felt like, I remember coming and seeing you and being like really excited. I'm like, something's happening. Something's going on. This is not, oh my gosh, my world is falling apart. This is, stuff is being churned up because something's happening. Like when the farmer plows the field, I felt like last year was my field was being plowed completely because everything, my entire world turned upside down. My dad transitioned in December last year, which was a most beautiful experience. We were all there singing with him and sent him off in style, as we do. But obviously, in the midst of all of that, I was still going through this separation, and my husband had sent divorce papers, false statements and lies and allegations and all kinds of things, made a very messy situation 10 times messier. But I was holding it together and I was bossing it, and that's how I knew this was about more than this, and it's about higher power and a higher vibration, and something's going on, and I'm ready, and I don't know what it is, but I'm ready, so come on. And this is happening because it needs to happen, and Dad needed to move on right now before the trauma of whatever. And I just I don't know where that came from, because I've always kind of been a together person, but it was more than me being together. It was like, okay, something was just carrying me now, and I knew something was carrying me. And then, you told me about this amazing, like, mentoring thing that you was going to be doing, and I was just like, I read it, and I was like, well, that's for me. Like, so everything you mentioned, even like in your little thing in the email, like you mentioned like pain in the wrist, which I'd never told you about that I had, and you mentioned like 3 things. And I was like, well, that's me. And I was like, oh, well, I have to sign up because obviously this is for me. So you didn't know at the time, but it was for me. And it just totally just dropped into place like everything else. And here we are. Here we are.
And it's been amazing.
Sense? Did that kind of sum it up a bit? It's been the craziest year, and even 2020 being 2020, it has not been the most awful of years for me. I have experienced there's been a lot of trauma, there's been a lot of sadness. I know a lot of people who've passed or people who know people. It's been a very difficult year, but I'm still on that. This is exciting. Something's going on. This is not just, oh, what a terrible couple of years. No. It's not a terrible couple of years. It's not even, there's nothing terrible about it. It's just a process. Something's happening. There's a transition. There's a change. Something's shifting, and it's massive, and you better get ready. So that's how I felt last year coming into this year. And that's how I feel now, this year, coming towards the end of this year, going into next year. It's just, okay, you ready for phase 2? Okay. All right. Yeah.
And it's been really interesting, like in the last 2 months, just watching you as you've just kind of like just shed all this gunk and had all these realizations, and like all this stuff's been thrown at you, and watching as you've just been like grounded and there and working through it in a way that I'm just like, whoa, look at her handling her gunk. Like you've just like shed all these layers, and it's been so beautiful to watch. And every time you're like telling me what's going on, I'm like, wow. And yet I look at you and you're just like radiant. Whoa, there's that kind of growth and expansion. It's just like, it's so amazing to watch it.
But that's you, Miss Carrie. You have helped me to do that. I think I've tried to be honest with myself. I know sometimes we're not really, even though we try, but I've always tried to be honest, and always thought about improving myself and being the best version of me, and self-help books and this and that, and I'm a sucker for Iyanla Fix My Life because I love all of that, and I just love all of that. There's something deeper, and I've always kind of done stuff like that on the surface.
Yeah.
And I've had that surface knowledge and understanding, and always been open to things. But you've just taken it to somewhere I didn't even know existed. Like, I always know there's a connection like with what's going on emotionally and my body physically. I've always known that. Yeah. But you made it make sense, and you connected it in a way that I didn't know existed. Like, I can't even explain. So, and all of this came from even when we started the work with you being my massage therapist, you asking those weird questions in the first session, like, have you had any dental work done? Did you have dental work done when you were a child? And I'm like, okay, so my back hurts and I can't walk properly, and I don't know what that's got to do with me going to the dentist, but yeah. And then you were just asking some random stuff, and I was like, yeah.
All about the questions.
And it's not random, is it? None of it is random. So I had this head knowledge, surface knowledge of being better, improving, doing better things, self-care. But then the element that you brought in, I just, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. And it's work without the work. So you've taught me how to work without working, like listening to my body and listening to myself. And even a couple of weeks ago when I touched on certain things and you were like, oh, it's deeper than that. And I was like, deeper? What does she mean it's deeper? And I wasn't like, Miss Carrie said it's deeper, so it must be deeper. Let's go deep. I was like, okay. And I just put my book to one side and I went, well, Miss Carrie said it's deeper, so it's deeper. And then like the next day it was like, ooh, you've just helped me to understand my body, my mind, listen to myself, trust myself. Like it's all inside, it's all within. It's not like there's no, super magic guru. There is, it's Miss Carrie. There's no super magic guru out there who's like going to tell you stuff and then your life's going to be amazing. No. Everything, it's all, you already have it.
There.
You've already, and it's like, what do you mean I already have it? I already have the answer. I already know. I don't know. Oh, but I do know.
Oh, you do.
And then when you realize that without even realizing it, and then you just start opening stuff, and then so coupled with my wanting to improve and being open and honest and all of that, and then all your elements, I think that's why everything's just started like just popping open. It's just like it's like pressure cooker lids are just like just it's crazy. And it's like, oh, look at that. Wow. Ooh, that was interesting. And I feel, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I feel so free, like the freest I've ever felt. Just like, I don't feel restricted by anything, by my body, by time, by life, it's, I'm just, this guy. Amazing. You're amazing.